Okay, yeah, praise the Lord. Now let's see how Bashim now Shai Bashim Kakudash. The ones the others possible teachers going to mess up while learning to shoot. Now can show. Um. Giving niggas the ability to see, having allowing niggas who have lost limbs to use this chip as an interface to allow their body, the nervous system in the body, and to connect to these prosthetics and whatnot. Have this, which is once again one step closer to this being implemented as a major thing and allowing people to use it for payment. Which this is really you have the other brothers talk about how we're a lot closer than what we think, and that's true. People already paid through their phones. So like what? This is just one step further towards making that easier, towards allowing people to interact with their iPhones and having that information traffic from their phones to the chip. So like brother said, we get closer and closer as days go by, because like it's been about probably less than a decade since the expedition of this technology. Like it's always been there, but as far as it being integrated with humans, it's been like, it's a major thing. It's been less than a decade, And obviously, I'm sure they've done tons of fucking testing at ground before this put out to the public as being a thing that can be integrated into the human body. Apple's reportedly testing technology similar to Elon Musk's Neuralink technologies to control their iPhone. Again, well, I didn't say it already, but you have iPhones, which is pretty much like a fashion statement of phones, because you got like vehicles, you got clothes, a Gucci belt, right? A regular belt is fine, but a Gucci belt is a fashion statement of you have money. Like for example, a car. Cars are fine, but you have like supercars, luxury cars. There are fashion statements for money. An iPhone, like an Android, if I'm not mistaken, is actually better than an iPhone. But an iPhone, it's more popular. It's once again a fashion statement. And so-called white man is using that, because like what? Everybody likes iPhones. You're looked at differently if you have an iPhone. So this nigga is using Apple iPhone technology as an effort to push this more and to get people more comfortable with the idea of getting chipped, because they're using it'll be easy through your phones. Okay, now that you have no problem taking it as an integration with your phone, you'll have no problem taking it as an integration into the economic system, as a monetary integration, if that makes sense. That wasn't proper grammar, but Lord willing. So because his iPhone is pushing it, people will be even more inclined or more open to the idea of taking, because iPhone is popular. Everybody wants an iPhone. This technology will hope that whatever the fuck that is, space tech giant enable iPhone users to control their devices using neural signals captured by brain implants. Report claims. You have to improve accessibility for individuals. And they're going into accessibility for niggas who may have diseases or some type of ailment, injury, that will otherwise not allow them to to use an iPhone. Which they use that, I guess you could say, the force of sorts, because everybody's going to have to take this shit. But what is this? you have assholes that'll say that the mark of the beast is sin. Well, when you go into what the mark of the beast is, Revelation 13, the mark of the beast is a symbol of it's a mark of an end time kingdom. It's something it's an end time prophecy. Sin has always been around from, I don't even want to say from the beginning, but from Adam up to now, you have sin. But this is something that's going to show up in end time prophecy. What it's a kingdom. The mark of the beast is only featured in a kingdom in the end time. So if it's sent, not only that, let's go to this, Revelation 13 and 12, 13. He knew with great wonders. Just lock it. Give me a second here. He knew with great wonders, so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven, and on the earth inside, which is really going into Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But it says great wonders. And deceiveth them, because the whole point of this thing is for the so-called white man to solidify his rule as God in this world. It's not to better the economy. Everything is for this nigga's goal or purpose of becoming a God of the new world. That's all this nigga wants. He wants his blessing. He wants not his blessing, but he wants the blessing. That's what the niggas at the top act. That's what it all comes down to. Hence why you have the King Alpha plan, Rex 84, which is literally the extermination of all Israelites. Why is that? Because that hatred that Esau and Jacob made up, but Esau's descendants kept that hatred. And like Haman is an example of that, where he literally, I think it was, what was it? I don't think it was Xerxes. Where in the Book of Esther, you had Haman that literally, was it Xerxes? I don't think it was Xerxes. That literally tried to get all of our people fucking exterminated. And you have the same thing now. And Haman, the Agagite, he remembered was what, because it was recorded, our history was recorded. The so-called white man knows. He knows he lost the blessing. He knows we kicked his ancestors' ass all over the damn place. That's how they think. The average peon now. But that's how the dukes think. I'm not gonna call them royals because there's nothing royal about a fucking Edomite. They're usurpers. They're fakes. They're phonies. They're not real fucking royalty. Hell, you have royalty of other heathen nations. There's nothing royal about the so-called white man. I don't give a fuck how many rings he puts on his finger, how many crowns he sets on his head, how many fucking throne chairs he sits in. There's nothing royal about a fucking Edomite. But Dukes of Esau, niggas at the top, know about all this. And deceiveth them that dwell on earth by means of those miracles. Once again, it's a miracle to allow a nigga who was blind to see again. It's a miracle to allow somebody who lost their legs the technology that will allow their brain to send those signals and connect all that shit in their spine to their legs so they can walk again. That's a miracle. Which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, which is so-called white man power structure, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which is a lifestyle. The lifestyle of that kingdom, of that power structure. How the power structure how it conducts itself, its customs, its laws, its there's another customs, laws. I was about to say holidays, but customs go along with that. But you know how its life, the manner of life and the type of life that the system pushes. That's what the image is. Which had the wound by the sword and did live, which is referring to Rome. America is Rome 2.0, and average American will acknowledge that. But we have Rome 1.0. Ancient Rome was taken down, and You have Rome 2.0 when you go into the Renaissance, which means rebirth. The rebirth of what? It literally says the rebirth of classical culture when you go into what it was. Classical referring to Roman culture. And you have power to give life into the image of the beast. The image of the beast should both speak, because many do not worship the image. And once again, this he calls all Muslim, rich poor free bonds receive a mark in their right hand on their foreheads, and then no man might buy or sell save he that had mark the name of the beast. The mark of the beast. What is it? It's something that's integrated, that's representative of that beast, of that power structure, of that system. What is that thing that sets it? What's that defining mark? Star of ID that will allow you to buy or sell, and everybody's going to have it. For example, now everybody has to have money. Everybody has to have a bank account. Everybody has to have a cell phone. You know, it's damn near getting to the point where everybody has to have a fucking credit, some type of card, debit card, or credit card to be able to pay. Because some places don't take that. But there are things in this society in which are required for people to have in order to operate in this society. What's stopping them from implementing from going one step further? You know, everybody already knows that the money has no fucking value. So what are they turning to? Digital currency, central digital bank currency. Elon Musk talked about how there's going to come a point where everybody is going to have to be on what's that? UBI, universal basic income. How is that shit going to get in people's bank accounts? Through their chip. He wants to integrate man with machine. Everything is pointing toward. Everything when you go into this space is pointing toward the fucking chip. Why? Because artificial intelligence are going to take all fucking jobs eventually. It's, you know, if it got to that point, artificial intelligence would take everything, take all fucking jobs. Skilled labor, fucking basic labor, everything. Just like how with the pandemic, right? What happened? Everybody had, well, obviously everybody fucking didn't, but everybody had to take that jab in order to operate in society. That's another example of how these niggas can easily roll some shit out and have everybody fucking take it. And the vast majority of people, well, I don't even want to say vast majority of people, but a lot of fucking people folded on a fucking spot. What's to stop him from using this? This nigga, he can fucking do it. You know, when you go into the definition, the meaning of that word, mark, karagma, karas, it all goes into a stake, palisade, something stabbing into the ground. How does that equal injecting ship into you, stab into your flesh? Everything in this arena points towards that chip. But that thing, whatever the mark beast is, it's going to connect you to the beast system. And you're not going to be able to do commerce without it. What is that? Brothers been going, have hit this thing from every fucking angle imaginable. That's what it is. And this right here is one step closer to it being as a requirement to do business. You know, like what? When you go, you know, the fire, the missiles, the judgment of adultery is death. And if I remember correctly, like if you have a woman that you're supposed to burn her with, fire. If I remember correctly. Yeah. So what? The ultimate form of adultery is like the Lord refers to these churches as harlots' houses. You know, spirit. You know, you have spiritual adultery being used throughout the scriptures. Physical adultery, which is a man has sex with a woman who's already betrothed to another man, and then you have spiritual adultery, which someone already already is betrothed to a god, stepping out and playing the harlot, spreading themselves for another god by adopting the ways of that foreign god and ignoring the ways of the original god that they serve. Something our people have are professionals in. But you know that's the reason why that fire is going to be the punishment, especially for our people who decide. Like, look, when you take that chip, that's you. That's you making the deliberate choice to take another god as to say the so-called white man is your god, which we already have one. But no, slack if it was wrong, right? I tried to make everything simple. Follow and shoot, show on to hopefully like this instruction battle on Great America.